States versus Franklin Tucker, 17 CF 841. Williams States here, defendants here. Feels a little stuffy in here. I've been told that the AC is being worked on again. So guess it will freshen up here soon. So how are we doing? We ready to proceed with that deposition to perpetuate?
We are. We have a little bit of a disagreement here, I think, but not much.
Judge, we have the perpetuated testimony. I guess the defendant plans on playing it. The state would just request that it be played in its entirety so that all the cross-examination that was conducted would be entered into evidence as part of that perpetuated testimony, and that the jury would see it all. That's the state's only position.
Your Honor, if I might.
Yes.
You know, look, when that perpetuated testimony was taken, it was taken with 3 different attorneys and 3 different stances with 3 different defendants. So the idea that we're going to play Seth LeVay's cross and Ana Gomez Malata's cross, which I can't imagine that's going to be any good. But okay, it was never meant to be used that way. It was meant to be used as each individual attorney takes their section. I know they didn't do it that way for Rory's trial. I can guarantee that.
Well, the way I have seen it, and again, it's usually done in a civil case, not too many criminal cases, but that each side can, in other words, the defense can call, or if it's the state, they can present testimony from a deposition to perpetuate. But then the other side can present cross from, it would be just like any other witness. You don't have to put it on initially, but the state can present any relevant cross, and it doesn't matter what lawyer asked the question. That it doesn't matter.
That's correct, Judge. And just so the court's aware, Ana Gomez Malata's cross has a lot of information about Rory Wilson. Rory Wilson has been brought up in this trial. There's been testimony about his involvement. Seth LeVay crosses on Travis Johnson. There's been testimony from Travis Johnson in this case. So all this information that's obtained to this cross is relevant. These are not foreign people that are being in this trial that are being discussed. So
yeah, but the
state's position is what Your Honor just articulated, that it should be played in its entirety, and that's that.
Well, that's not exactly what I said. I said that Mr. Tucker can present that part of it that he wants to, and the state can present, or at least offer, that part of it that they want to. It's not objectionable as to what lawyer might ask the questions. If there is something content-wise that's objectionable, then that's certainly subject to a ruling. So that's what I said. I didn't say Mr. Tucker had to play the whole thing.
Your Honor, if
Yes,
I might again, just again, you're talking about lawyers that were literally again in opposition that are asking this, asking these questions. Their motives for asking their questions are completely different, and the answers they're looking for or trying to get are completely different. I mean, to think that, man, okay, you're going to put Ana Gomez Malata up to represent the state, or you're going to put her up to. I'm not going to put her up to represent me. I know that. But my understanding is the state asked their questions during the perpetuated testimony. They already asked their questions. We already asked ours. I'm not going to get a chance to ask her anymore. You guys don't get a chance to ask her anymore either. You put up the state side, you put up my side. Simple.
If that's the way it worked, it doesn't quite work that way. It doesn't matter who asked the question and what their motivation is. What matters is whether the question or the answer is admissible by virtue of what it says. It doesn't matter if it comes from Wilson's attorney, from Johnson's attorney. It matters whether it's within the scope and whether it's admissible. That's what matters.
Well, I mean, Rory Wilson isn't going to testify. Ana Gomez Malata isn't going to testify. I mean, none of these people are going to testify. So I'm not exactly sure how that applies.
But they're not testifying.
I would imagine it'd be hearsay at that point.
It's just like if she was here and she was asked these questions, if it's within the scope and if it otherwise falls within the rules of evidence, it comes in. All I can tell you is, in my experience and knowledge, this primarily comes up in civil cases, but basically the procedures are the same. You might have, in a civil case, maybe you have 2 plaintiffs, 4 defendants. A couple of those defendants settle out. One of the remaining defendants wants to play the deposition, and the questions from one of the settled out defendants can still be presented as long as it's admissible. So that's
Your Honor, if I might, just one question, if I might, because I've had some cancellations, stuff like that today, and so time is our time is going to be. We're going to have plenty of time.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to dig into these so-called cancellations, because we're not going to be wasting time like we did last week.
Your Honor, I mean, look, I'm not trying to waste time, but I'm also not trying to rush to get to any kind of judgment right now.
Nobody's rushing. We want to make good use of our time, and I would need to dig into these so-called cancellations. But let's talk about the business at hand.
And here's the business at hand, Your Honor. I was just going to ask if I might take a few minutes, just because, okay, I am aware that there are differences between civil and criminal procedure. If I might consult with my advisor for a second, just to make sure.
Listen, I told the juries to be here at 9:15, and so that's basically, if you want 10 minutes, you can have 10 minutes, but
that'd be great. I just want to be able to ask a quick question and come back and address, Your Honor, and just make sure that I just want to make sure for myself, Your Honor. That's all.
Yeah, well, sure, whatever you want to do. My ruling's very sure.
No,
but,
I know that.
If you want somebody else to tell you I'm wrong, go ahead.
No. I mean, I'm sure, Your Honor, if I come up with a good, if I come up with a good statute or something like that, then I'm sure you would consider it.
Anyway,
Judge Jones, before you step out, sir, I think we should address. I don't believe the defendant has anything else planned for today other than this testimony, which I can't imagine this will probably be done by noon.
This is also why I needed to speak with Your Honor about a couple of the witnesses. One of them has we can talk about that.
I want to deal. I try to be as courteous to the jurors and respectful of their time, and I'm not going to keep them waiting here when I told them to be here and we have something to do. Okay. So anyway,
10 minutes, right?
So otherwise it's ready to be played?
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so that would be 9:22. So, is there any instruction that anyone would request before the evidence is deposition is played?
Again, Judge, I think just an explanation that her testimony was perpetuated. It's to be treated like any other witness, I guess, and considered such.
We did discuss a little bit of the functioning of this because we had our copy. That's all we had. The state actually requested it be broken up into 3 different sections for each individual attorney, they have the other two sections. That's fine. But it can still play it all on the station. But they did proper to these are going to be, original copies. They're not going to be edited at all or anything like that.
Okay. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
I mean, they're not admitted into evidence. The evidence
Is the words.
is the word, so it's not like they're a video that comes into evidence.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
One other thing, Your Honor, is that it does go off the record a few times where the court reporter, and they're aware of this, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can keep any of that out.
Well, any of that, I mean, normally, and again, I know you're a one-man show here, often, again, drawing on my experience, there's a videographer, and that person, when it gets to one of those points, basically mutes it out. But I understand that you don't have that capacity, at least not through some third party. So how would we prevent it from being published?
I think they're only at the end of your section, I would imagine. That's what I would imagine. I don't have their sections. I haven't actually had a chance to look at their sections.
I think if it comes up, I think we'll stop the tape and have to advance it to where it picks up again.
Oh, and somebody's got that control?
Well, the defendant's presenting her testimony, so he's going to have to.
I'll present this one. I'll let the state go.
All right. Okay. And you don't object, Mr. Tucker, to me giving a brief instruction about what this is?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. I hope the jurors are all present.
All present.
Thank you. Please be seated, everyone. Good morning, members of the jury. Nice to see you all. Thank you for being here this Monday morning. It's good to see you. It's kind of warm in here, isn't it? It's a little stuffy. Unfortunately, even though this building is relatively new, although time goes very fast, so I think we've been in this building now like 14 years, something like that. The air conditioning system is linked to the old building and the clerk's office, so unfortunately that's not as new, and we seem to be having some intermittent trouble with it. I've been told by court administration that it's been turned back on and is functioning. So my expectation is that it should cool down to a more comfortable level here real soon. Thankfully, it's January and it's quite a bit cooler than the normal Key West weather, so it's not like it's sweltering in here. But if you feel a bit uncomfortable, that's the reason, and we're working on it. So, you know, the state rested. You know that we started with the defense case on Friday, and you know what happened there. So at this particular point in time, Mr. Tucker, do you have a witness to call?
Yes, I do. It's Paula Belmont.
All right. Members of the jury, Ms. Belmont is going to be testifying via what's called a deposition to perpetuate testimony. You see it right there on the screen. It's a videotape and audio tape of her sworn testimony taken at some earlier point in time. At that particular point, she was placed under oath, sworn to tell the truth, and was asked questions by the lawyers, and so that was meant to preserve her testimony. So you are to consider it just as if she was right here, sitting on the witness stand, live and in person. She's under oath, she's being asked questions, and this is the method whereby her testimony is being presented to you, both through the audio and the visual. So please consider it as such. So we can proceed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry, if anybody has any trouble hearing, anybody has any trouble seeing, please let me know. Sorry. I want to make sure that you hear everything, I want to make sure you see everything. The other thing is, just because of what happened on Friday, let you know that all is okay. I'm using microphone.
Judge, I'm going to object to this intro.
Yeah.
I just thought somebody, they might be concerned. That's why I said it. Anyway, obviously we're going to take it from the video at this point. And really, she's going to be sworn in as well, Your Honor, so we'll start with that part.
All right, go ahead.
It is the 20th of September 2020. The time is 10:12 a.m. We're at the Freeman Justice Center, courtroom A at 302 Blount Street, U.S., Florida, for the purpose of taking video deposition and to perpetuate the testimony of Paula Belmont, being taken by the state in case number 2017 CF 841A. Court order is excellent again for its thousand word. Do you swear from the testimony you're giving in this trial to be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Counsel, this is Jerry O'Hara. I just wanted to make the record clear as to what we're doing today. We had a motion by the state in this deposition to preserve testimony. No one objected. So the way I understand it, that the state is, if I'm saying anything that's not correct, please correct me. But the state is calling the witness, and therefore the state will do direct. We'll do one complete correct. After that, I just want to understand the first will be a cross-examination by counsel for Mr. Wilson. Based on Mr. Johnson first. Okay, Mr. Johnson first. And then basically it will be redirect with regards to only the cross of Mr. Johnson. And then the next cross will be conducted without another direct. We're going to have one direct, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so then the cross-examination will be conducted by Mr. Wilson's counsel, and it will be redirected solely on that testimony. And the same thing will be with Mr. Tucker, will be the final one. So I just, I don't know how exactly to handle any potential objections, whether there's going to be objections to some of the testimony that may be admissible in one of the cases, but not necessarily admissible in the other case. For example, I don't know exactly what you're going to bring, but maybe here's the exception, or a group issue that may apply with one for one defendant, not with another defendant. So I would just like to say that, Mr. Tucker would reserve our right to object to any of the direct testimony that does not apply to Mr. Tucker. It's all recognized that there are three separate trials. So, for example, with regard to Mr. Tucker's trial, when he's on trial,
Judge, can we stop the tape for a minute?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson will be participating in that trial. So,
Can we come forward?
Yes? Do the best you can.
Honestly, it just. It's trying to be one of the worst places.
E60.
That's a little far.
Yes, ma'am. I have severe COPD with rough.
This is a little bit.
We're just trying to get it where the questions start, that's all. So,
Christine Place is, she's coming right up. I just page 28 seconds.
Correct.
But this is a test for wrongfully, and you're saying for disability, we can do that.
Should be coming up to say.
All right. You can try, yes. Yes.
Why don't we run into, folks, why don't we run into an issue where we naturally resolve it right then? Is Judge Jones in the courthouse?
Yes, you are.
He is not present in the courtroom. I am not sure if he's in the courthouse or not.
All right.
Is there anything else that we need to address? I was going to ask the court reporter to swear to witness it again, just for the next part.
I think that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be Christine Boyce from the state. Just to make you aware, it's going to be Christine Boyce from the state who's going to be asking the first questions. So it'll be the state side.
Can you please state your name for the court reporter?
Paul Belmont,
How old are you?
56.
Do you have any medical conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
What medical conditions?
I have severe COPD, like 22% lung function with asthma and emphysema.
Excuse me, counsel, can we ask one, put your microphone a little closer?
Is that better? This one? Better? Okay. I want to say it again.
Do you have any medical conditions?
Yes, ma'am. I have severe COPD with severe emphysema, asthma, and roughly 22% lung function.
Is that one of the reasons that you're not wearing a mask today?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, are these medical conditions unrelated to the reason you're testifying here today?
Can you repeat that?
Are they unrelated to the case for which you're testifying?
Why I'm here today? I'm here today because I'm not expected to be alive when trial gets here. Is that what you mean?
Okay, now, do you take any medications for your medical conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
What medications do you take?
I take Convent, I take Albuterol, I take Albuterol and Petroleum, I take Performance, I take Valhalla, I take Pursutamide, I take Delaresp, I take blood pressure. I'm on an nebulizer 10 times a day. I think that's it.
And have you taken any of those medications today?
Yes, ma'am.
And will those medications impact your ability to recall what happened in this case?
No, I'm not going to call anything now.
And do they impact your ability to testify here today?
No, ma'am.
Now, I noticed when you were testifying, you looked over to your right. Why did you look over to your right?
Just because I'm nervous, I'm looking everywhere.
Did you bring any of your medications?
Yes, ma'am. When I looked over my right, I looked to see, I was looking at the medications in there, making sure I had everything listed for you.
So now you understand the main brought your nebulizer here today. What is a nebulizer?
It's, you can have a mist from liquid medicine.
Is it breathing treatment?
Yes, yes.
And if you need to use that, please let us know.
I will.
Any
I
other
will.
things? How long have you resided in the Florida Keys?
Roughly 20 years. Before it was 1999, I think. I'm not quite sure.
Where did you reside in November of 2017?
Stock Island,
Do you recall the specific address?
5650 Laurel Avenue.
And what was your arrangement to live there?
I paid $200 a month, I believe, and we took care of the property. My friend came over, cut the grass, and stuff like that.
Do you know who owned the property?
Matthew Lott.
And did you enter into that agreement to rent space there with Matthew Lott?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe the setup of the property?
There was, when you walked in, there was a main house trailer that Matthew resided in. There was rooms in the back that pretty much got destroyed by the hurricane. There was a little trailer on the left, and there was a double-decker roof frame, what we call the treehouse. I stayed up on the very top.
Now you say at the very top, do you mean the treehouse?
Yes.
So why was it called the treehouse?
I don't know. It's because it's made. I don't know. It's just called a treehouse.
Can you describe the treehouse?
It's a original, like, two-story structure. Three sets of stairs, but two actual stories.
So,
All over top of Matthew's trailer house.
alright, so just to kind of recap, so you said there's this treehouse structure, there's a trailer, and then there's like a travel trailer.
Yes, to the left.
Who lived in the travel trailer?
Ben Hansen.
And did anyone live in the trailer with Matthew Lott?
Not with Matthew specifically, but behind that residence. Behind where Matthew was blocked off, and behind that there was two other rooms. And Anthony Clay lived in the back.
And does Anthony Clay also go by another name?
April.
Now, specifically talking about the treehouse structure, if you were going up to the first set of stairs, can you kind of describe to us how you would walk into what the
Okay, you went up the first set of stairs, and to your left there was a small platform room, and then you went up another set of stairs to get to a landing, and you turned the corner, and then you got upstairs to the top structure.
Where did you reside?
Up at the top structure. Yes, that's what it's like.
Describe your room.
It was just open. I had a chase lounge, a little, another chase lounge, I guess you would call it, a setup for beds. There was a roof over top, not the whole thing, just like where I slept at. It was a little roof.
What kind of roof was it?
Tarp.
And you described it as not completely enclosed, but you have for walls.
Nothing really. Just some blankets to put over top, just to block the light out from the roadway.
Did you have a door?
No.
Did you have running water?
Pardon?
Did you have running
No,
water?
ma'am.
Did you have a toilet?
No, CPS.
What's that mean?
CVS, that's what I'm looking at.
And where was CVS?
Right across the street. Just wait for her to finish. Okay.
But may I approach the witness? I am showing you what the previously marked as base composite A1 through 19 for identification. If you could please take a look at those.
That lady here is
Yes. Yes.
Yes, there were the treehouse.
How do you recommend this?
Because that's where I lived.
And are there materials and information on what else is existing?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's start with that. There was a field for alternate.
Sometimes when we slept there, that's where we would sleep.
Is that Tyrone?
I'm sorry, yes, Tyrone.
And on the second floor, or the top floor where you reside, there appears to be two beds.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about those.
Roosevelt, Washington would come over a lot on the weekends, and he would sleep in the bed that's got a black and white quilt on it. Well, not the bed, the chair. Lounge chair, whatever you want to call it.
And is that the bed that's located closest to, quote, the doorway or the stairs?
The steps, yes.
And you utilize the other bed kind of like a chase line?
Yes.
Did Roosevelt, Washington plan on staying with you that night?
It wasn't really specifically said.
All right. Focusing your attention on Friday, November 17th of 2017. What had you done earlier that day?
I was hanging out upstairs with my friend Roger Bucket. Had a friend drop me off some ice, had a friend who had come down and brought me a roast beef and cheese sandwich from Arby's, and basically we were just sitting around.
So let's start earlier in the day. Do you know approximately what time you woke up?
What time?
You woke up.
Oh God, I don't know, probably 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
How were you feeling that day?
No, well, I wasn't breathing good.
Now, the conditions you testified about earlier, the COPD and the asthma, did you have those conditions at that time in November 2017?
Yes, but I didn't have a pulmonologist to diagnose them.
Did anyone come up to visit you in the treehouse?
Yes, ma'am.
Who visited you first?
Rory Wilson. With another person who I don't know who was.
How did you know Rory Wilson?
Because he had been at the property previously.
What did you know him as?
Detroit.
Approximately what time did Detroit and
somewhere around noon. Sorry.
Now, for Detroit, how many times have you been him previously?
Maybe 5 or 6. Excuse me.
When you saw him previously, was it always at the treehouse or was it somewhere else?
I had saw him one time over at CBS in line, and then one night I saw him outside of the treehouse. I don't know if that counts as the treehouse. He was outside of the property trying to get in, asking to come in. So I don't know how he went.
And the other times then, you would have seen him at the treehouse?
Yes, inside the property, inside of the gate.
How much total time have you spent with him prior to November 17th?
Maybe 20 minutes.
Now, can you describe his appearance?
He's very big, not too great judging size, but I would say like 6'2", maybe 225 pounds.
And it's black, white, and
He's a black man.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
He's a black man.
Did you have any conversations with him during these encounters you've had with him before?
All of the encounters.
Were you familiar with his voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, on this particular day, November 17th, do you know why Detroit and his friend came to the treehouse?
In the afternoon, they came looking for drugs.
How do you know they were looking for drugs?
Because Detroit asked.
Who did Detroit ask for drugs? Back in
Yes, ma'am.
What drugs did you use?
Cocaine.
Have you used any that day?
No, I haven't.
What did you tell them?
No, because they all drawing.
Do you recall what he was wearing?
Yes, he was wearing this thing. He was wearing a dark blue sweatshirt, shorts, and these like dark black shoe things. They were like boot material, but not high boots, they were shoes. If that makes sense.
On November 17th, how long did you spend with Detroit that day?
In the daytime or nighttime?
In the daytime.
2 minutes.
Now, due to COVID-19 safety precautions, some individuals were located here in the courtroom, and some were appearing remotely via Zoom. Do you see the individual that you know as Detroit?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see him here in person or appearing remotely?
He's appearing remotely.
Can you please describe what he is wearing?
All I can say is a blue mask. Can't see nothing else.
Is there anyone else in the same frame?
Yeah, that weird lady. I'm sorry, I'm late.
All right. And in the record reflect that the witness has identified defendant Rory Wilson as appearing in Mason with his crime. Now, after Rory Wilson had left in the morning, did you have any encounters with anyone else during the afternoon?
Washington, Christopher Longer and Matthew that come up the stairs. Tyrone, my friend from Long Heights. Repeat that name. Link, that's his actual name, Link. L-I-N-K.
So let's talk about each set of individuals time to time. We talked about Crystal and Matt. Who were they and when did you see them?
Matthew was Matthew Vine, and Crystal did Locker appeared to see April, and said she wanted to see me, and she was never one of my friends, but Matthew brought her upstairs.
Do you know approximately when that was?
It was early, I think around 10 o'clock.
So before Rory Wilson.
Yes, yes.
Now you mentioned Tyler Quinn.
That was the afternoon.
Do you know or recall if he had stayed there the night before?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
And as far as that afternoon, in what context did you see him?
We were trying to put the door, put a door up on the stairway, so we couldn't just go like up.
Now, you previously testified that you lived in the tree house and the tree house didn't have a door, so was he trying to help set up a door
Yes,
to the tree house?
yes.
And was the door going to go to the first bottom of the stairs or to where you stayed?
The very bottom of the stairs.
And what did you do to try and put up this door?
He brought the door. And the door didn't fit right, so that we stood at the top of the stairs.
Was he back and forth on the property trying to figure out if it would work?
I'm not sure exactly what he did because I stayed upstairs. I know he had mentioned that he didn't. I personally didn't have any leases, but I didn't ever see him leave, come back. I was upstairs.
You also mentioned your friend Link.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And approximately when did Link come?
I believe around 5 or 6.
And you said he came over because
She brought me some lights from the store.
now earlier you also mentioned that someone had brought you Arby's.
That was after Link.
And who brought you
My
Arby's?
friend JD.
And you also mentioned Roosevelt, Washington.
Yes, ma'am. He was there every weekend, pretty much.
And what did you see him doing?
Oh, he'd come upstairs and say hello to me, then he was downstairs with the mat.
When did he come upstairs to see you?
Because he always came up to see me whenever he showed up.
At any other point in time on that day, did you come upstairs?
I don't believe so.
So just to make sure I understand chronologically as far as people, the first people you would have seen was Crystal Duke Walker and Matthew Grimes. Then you would have seen Rory Wilson and his friends. Then you would have seen Link
This is my friend Roger.
and JP. Now, Flynn would have been in after the day.
Yes.
What time would Roosevelt come over?
4 o'clock maybe. After he was done work.
And when did Robert come over?
Roger comes in around 2.
What were you and Roger doing?
Oh, hanging out, Roger drinks beer. He'd come over every weekend to drink beer. Well, not every weekend, but every Friday. Check on the grass to see if the grass needed to be cut.
So earlier when you were talking about your friend that helped maintain their property, were you talking about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you also drinking beer?
No, I don't drink.
Now at some point in time, did it grow dark and that someone else came down the stairs?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened?
Well, I was laying back on the bed, and the next thing I know, I'm not going to say this because I know it was Detroit. Wilson came running at me, and I couldn't figure out how he was running at me, and then jumped on top of me. He put the knife to my neck and told me, give it to me, or give me what you got, or something like that, or I'm going to kill you. And then there's another person behind him that went after Roger.
So let's talk about each individual one at a time. What was the person who came after you wearing?
Dark blue black sweatshirt, shorts, blue black, blue shoe things, and a mask, which I didn't realize at first he had a mask on, because he jumped right on top of me.
How big or small is this person?
Big. Roughly around 6. So 225 pounds. Again, I'm not going to tell you the judge size-wise.
How did you know the person was?
I know it wasn't just who he was. The voice, after hearing the voice, there was no doubt in my mind. He was wearing the same clothes and we had been at the house earlier.
Now you said at first you didn't realize the person was wearing a mask.
Yeah, because he jumped on top of me.
Did you see any weapons?
No, not on him.
So the Detroit that you referred to as coming to the property earlier, is that the same person you're saying is there now?
Yes.
Now, what is your size?
5'5". Anywhere from 297 pounds, depending on how I got this to.
And is that an accurate
Yes.
of your height weight at that time?
Yes. Always has been.
And so you said you're on the chase part of your bed, and
Yes.
this person comes on top of you.
Yes.
So can you describe what they were doing to you?
I had a knife into me, punched alongside the head, yanked up by my hair to tell me to shut up.
Now, you said you didn't see a knife. You're saying you felt a knife.
I saw the knife.
Can you describe the knife?
It was sharp. It felt jagged, but it felt sharp. Kind of felt big.
Now, you described that there was a second person that had come upstairs as well.
Yes.
Can you describe that person?
All I saw was the back of that person. He was a little smaller, like not as wide, wearing a black hoodie. I just saw the back of him. And holding something that looked like a billy club or something. Only saw nothing in the back.
Now, you said that this person is smaller. Are you saying that's in relation to
Just 2 feet, yes.
Could you see what that second person was doing?
All I saw that second person do was I saw him from like the side of my body because I had something on top of me. It was coming, spread on my backpack, looking at my backpack. That was the only thing that I saw.
Do you know where or what Roger was doing during this time?
No, he didn't. Because I couldn't see past Detroit.
Now, you talked about a backpack.
Yes, ma'am.
Who had the backpack?
The other person. Not Detroit, the second person.
And can you describe the backpack?
Black leather. Just plain black backpack.
What do you have in the backpack?
My keys, jewelry, perfume, a little pink purse that had witches on it. I know there's other stuff in it, but I didn't describe that, so I don't think I can answer that. Like I know if you showed me picture-wise, but I don't remember that stuff. I know it's mine, so I don't know how to answer that question. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm going to show you what is considered positive E1%. Please take a look at those.
Okay, it's in the backpack.
Do you recognize those photographs?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize those photographs?
Because it's my backpack.
Do you recognize the
And there's my food stamp card, yes, and there's the person I just described to you. Recognize that notebook. There's the card.
And are these photographs depicting at least part of most of the person?
Yes, yes.
It's absolutely everything that's in your backpack recovered.
No.
What was not recovered?
I had a brand new bottle of Dare perfume. And I had some other items in there with my child, who was in jail at the time. I don't want to answer the question about my keys because they were recovered by somebody else, but they had them in the backpack. And it's been almost 3 years. I can't tell you what else was in it. Probably candy.
Now, you mentioned while this is going on, you're being punched in the face, there's a knife strip raising threats, and you scream for help.
Yes, ma'am. And keep it somewhere. Keep it somewhere.
Why were you screaming for help and getting before?
Because I need help. I'm getting tired. It's getting beat up.
Did anyone respond?
Yes.
Who responded?
Nothing.
And two members on the stairs of your house.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you hear anything he was saying?
I want to say, what are you doing here?
So what's the highest or closest you got to the area of your house?
Hold on. We got to the landing. I was talking the stairs. Or if he would have been able to turn the corner, we could have taken the 3 stairs up to my level. Since there's a landing where you turn the corner to go up, and he's on that landing.
Alright, so just for the purposes of the record, there's the steps, first floor, steps, steps, and then you go to the top.
You go up the first set of stairs, there's a walkway. You go up the second set of stairs, there's a landing. He made it to that landing. If he had made it around the corner, he would have made it up to me.
Who do you see at the line?
Yeah.
What happened when he came upstairs?
He didn't make it up the stairs, he made it to the landing.
And what happened when he made it to the landing?
There was a tussle, and I heard him fall down the stairs.
When he started coming up the stairs and he came to the landing, what did Troy, who was on you, do?
He was off in the back at the time. He was already down the stairs. The second person, he come back up the stairs, smashed Roger in the face, and knocked him off. And then they were both after that. It's kind of fuzzy. Matt was there with Detroit back in. Is what I know for sure. I'm not quite sure about the second person. The second person did not run behind that, like on the stairs. Had been to the backside of that. It was Detroit going after that. And then I heard a tussle. And then down the bottom of the stairs, Roy was still up, because he kept going back and forth. And I remember the second person say, I think we killed him. And then Roy took off.
So let's break it down a little bit more. So you said that when Matt came upstairs that Detroit was no longer as on top.
On top of me, yeah. He was maybe from here to, not as far as this lady, and not as far as you, even there, away from me.
So approximately 3 or 4 feet away?
I don't know whether it doesn't matter. In the middle of me, the distance from me, you halfway.
And did you see the second person at this time?
Yes?
Second person is somehow behind that. Like the bad guy has that second person.
You need a break? Is that what you're saying? All right. Okay.
So just make sure you're
Second person was at this end up against the railing. On the landing.
So the second person had already gone down the stairs.
Yes. And they went back upstairs.
Alright, so the second person had gone down the stairs.
Up the stairs.
Rory Wilson, Detroit, was still on the top, but not on top of you.
Yeah, not on top of me.
And so when Matt and Ron had been in between the two,
Yes, they were going back and forth, and like I said, I can't remember correctly, but Rory had been this way on the landing facing Matt.
you see what transpired in this tussle.
I saw Rory doing this towards Matt. Not knowing, we were stabbing and hitting him, and then pushing him, and then I heard the tussle going down the stairs.
Now you're doing kind of like a static type
The
motion.
stabbing or fighting, punching, stabbing.
So you could not see them.
No.
So you just saw him do some sort of motion like that, where you're saying
Yes.
static motion.
Yes.
With his hands towards Mr. Ron.
Yes. I actually wrote that on left hand. I'm showing it with my right because I'm right-handed, but it's left-handed. And then pushing.
Now, after this tussle, did Rory Wilson come back upstairs, or did they leave?
They left. I mean, I didn't see them after that.
At any point in time for this interaction, did you try to harm yourself, or How to protect yourself?
At one point, I had Roger's knife in my hand. Roger had pulled it out or something. I don't know. It was all over the place. And then I just put it down. And I was too scared. I mean, I hadn't run to the bed. I guess I should have picked that up. But no, I put my hand up against my neck to try to prevent the knife from going any further. But that's considered protecting yourself. I don't know. You know, stream and fall. You take it forward.
Now, at this point in time, you realize you're going to be fired.
And that's kind of what I knew that it hurt. I didn't know that I was actually sliced that much. I thought it was just from the knife digging in me so hard.
When you're describing everything that's happening, is it dark throughout the treehouse?
It's dark, but it's not pitch black because you have street lights.
Was there any lights on inside the treehouse, like a lamp?
No. Not that I'm aware of. Nothing. I have a lantern, but I can't say for sure whether it was on. Probably was because it normally was, but I can't say yes or no.
Was anything besides the backpack taken? Was anything besides the backpack taken?
No, I didn't say that.
And was there any money in the taken?
I'm like $26, $27, something like that. And some change in a big Gucci purse. And there wasn't that.
After you saw the men go downstairs,
I didn't see them downstairs. I didn't see them go downstairs. I heard them go downstairs, but I didn't see them.
and what did you hear next after that?
I heard a car, the door shut, and then I heard a car.
When you say you heard a car, what did you hear the car do?
Start up and leave.
Did you see where the car was located?
No, it's no.
Based on the sound, you believe it was close by?
Yes.
Did you call 911?
No.
Why not?
It took a while to find my phone. Everything had been tussled around. My friend had called me, and that's how I found was able with the lights, and I was able to find my telephone, and he called 911.
What friend called you?
Wesley Note.
Did you ever try to turn downstairs, or did you decide to wait for law enforcement?
I stayed upstairs
Why did you stay upstairs?
because I was terrified. I was aware if there was anybody else still there.
And did you wait for law enforcement to arrive?
Yes.
What did you do while you were waiting?
Over the railing, trying to see Roger had went down to chase after the people. He wasn't coming back. And just screamed for help. Basically, kept screaming for somebody to come help me.
When law enforcement arrived, did they ask who was involved? Did they ask who had done this?
Who did this to me? Yes. Jenna. No one did it.
And did you tell her?
Yes, I did right away. Yes, I did right in Detroit.
was an ambulance called to look at you for potential injuries?
They mentioned yeah. I didn't know what he had said on 911.
Now, what injuries did you sustain?
A gash in my neck, the side of my head beaten in, and a gash in my hands, my left hand.
What during
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go to the hospital by ambulance?
Yes.
Did you want to go to the hospital?
No.
Why not?
I had no idea, honestly. Maybe it was a shock, and maybe I don't know. I had no idea when I went to the hospital.
Did you receive stitches at the hospital?
No, I went around myself to be stitched. I got glued. I didn't want any more pain. I didn't want anything hurting me. As in the girl, I didn't want nothing hurting me. So they told me.
Can you just repeat the last part that you were out to do?
They glued my neck and my hands with some kind of glue that they use. Against advice, because they wanted to stitch it, but I wouldn't allow it. Yes, ma'am. Because of the injuries that I sustained. Oh, my man, I can't study them. Honestly, I don't remember.
Are they a current accurate depiction of your injuries after you were removed?
Yes. Well, my hand's not really good there.
But your neck?
Yeah.
And so the clear accurate depiction of your injuries are again not being removed, but being
Yes.
Have those photographs been changed or altered in any way?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, no.
Were there any injuries that you sustained that could not be seen in the photographs?
No. Nothing that I know of, nothing that I can remember. My hand, my neck, my head.
Were your fingernail scrapings collected at the hospital?
No.
Have they cleaned up your hand at the hospital?
Only partially.
Did you return home to the treehouse that night, or did you stay somewhere else?
I returned to the treehouse to get my fingernail scrapings done. Then was taken to my girlfriend's house to stay the night.
When did you return to the treehouse after that initial first night?
The next morning, or afternoon, I'm not quite sure at the time. It's early afternoon, I believe.
Did you meet with law enforcement again at that place?
They drove me there.
Did they ask you for more information about what
I'm
happened?
still in the arrest.
At a later date, did they show you a photo land?
Yes.
And who did you identify in the photo land?
Detroit, Roy Wilson,
Did you have any hesitation?
no man, instant.
I shared with us with marks, sticks, and teeth for identification. Do you recognize it?
Yes, I do.
Is that a clear and accurate
Yes, it is.
for the photo line?
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. It's one of the
also put on 100%.
Yes, ma'am.
And why did you put on 100%?
Because it's 100%. It's 1,000%. It's the main bid.
At a later date, do you provide more data on 100%?
Yes, ma'am.
And was your DNA freely involuntary?
Yes.
Now, you indicated that you had seen the second person during the living they told you from the back.
Yes.
Did you ever get a fun look at their face?
No, ma'am.
Do you know whether or not they were wearing a mask?
I personally myself don't know. No.
Now, can you describe the clothing that that person was wearing?
He did. They had a dark hoodie on. A dark hoodie, a pullover sweatshirt hoodie, and dark pants.
Could you see that person's skin?
No.
At some point, did you tell the police that you thought that that second person might be black?
Yes, I told them when they were taking me down the stairs, I believe. I had originally thought the person was black because they were wearing black. And then called the next morning and said no, that I wasn't sure.
All right, so did you tell the police that you thought the person might be black because the person was wearing black?
Wearing all black, yeah. Because I just associated. I don't know.
And so you never saw the person's skin?
No.
And can you give the size of that person?
Just littler than Detroit.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Littler than Detroit. It's okay. I'm just going to get it. Overwinded.
I asked for the size of the second person. Are all the events you just described occurring during our
Yes, ma'am.
state as no further questions?
Can we take one?
Well, do we want to approach the bench here? Second, please. Folks, we're just, again, trying to get the videotape deposition at the right point. So thank you for your patience, and just to be a moment here to, it continues to be published to you. Yes, yeah, approach again, okay.
My girlfriend's house, just stayed in it.
When did you return?
So we're looking at get back on the record. It's going to be 119.
The time is 1:10 p.m. The update schedule. You can hear me, right? Because I'm not discreet.
I'm sorry.
You can hear me, please. I'm not discreet.
I can hear you on this. Okay, so one of the things you testified to earlier was about the lineup. Is that correct? A photo lineup?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you have to go to a way that you identify as photographs, correct?
Yes.
And that was photographs of the word you also correct?
Yes. I have it, I warned you this is going to happen. So other things, and then on the next, on the wall, you know, like film doors and walls that I woke up this morning and a double murder all in line. That's all we can. And at one point, somewhere in there, I said, it should have been Carl, not you. The rest was all just...
Did you ever come to that?
I don't know for sure, no.
You don't know for sure?
No.
Did you recognize the name?
No.
You were asked earlier about the Crystal Bank Locker.
Dean Drucker.
And it was announced. Did they ever tell you that Anthony Plus was a robber? Yes, it was.
No, not said the robbery, no.
I'm sorry.
Not that they, not that. Crystal, yes, Crystal and Melissa both had approached me prior and said April was going to have someone come up and beat me up and rob me. But I wasn't talking about after the robbery.
Who was the judge?
Is there any way and I don't care if anybody has their day off, honestly, because you guys are far enough away from me.
By the way, the writing was on the wall. You didn't write any of that, did you?
No, sir, I'm reading up this little. I'm very low handwriting.
You testified that you never tell your family. Did you feel?
Honestly, I don't know.
Did you find blood on the bed?
There was blood over my blanket, yeah.
There was blood all over your blanket?
The next morning, when I'm back, yeah.
Did you bring that to the police?
Yes, but whenever I didn't take the blanket, it's not as good.
It was
All because I left a lot of forensic files.
It was not taking evidence.
Listen, which I thought was weird.
I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about the robbery. This one, 2017, right?
Yes, sir.
You said, if I'm not mistaken, that the person that was recorded came in and jumped on you, could not take through it, and you got me, you need the money, or whatever.
Yes, yes, sir.
Is that
You didn't take drugs. You didn't take drugs. So you need money in your purse. I'm going to kill you.
my hand did you have
The left.
You're sure?
Yes, because I went this way to block it, and he was punching me with his right.
Yeah. You testified about the second man.
Yes.
You testified that you saw him from the side with
I saw his back, but I only saw from half of my side. Like, if I got this much of a view of him, because Roy was on top of me, but I saw the second person from the back, but only from my side.
That's right.
Does that make sense? Yes. Yes.
You also testified that later we were going to off you, and you saw that the second man was on Roger.
No, I was told later that the second man was on Roger.
You never saw the second man on Roger.
No, I saw the second man with my backpack and I saw him in the building club, but I couldn't see Roger because the twig was blocking the way.
So you saw the second man in the beginning where it was on top of you. You saw what you described.
Not right in the beginning, but during the tussle.
Okay. And then after where all of you saw the second man again, you saw him in the building club.
Just from the other side of me.
Great. So this is when Rory was not on any longer.
No, he was still on me.
Okay.
But I got tussled down where I could see the back of the man from the back of the side of me.
So how many times is that you saw this man?
2.5, does that make sense?
2.5 times. This was a short period of time.
Yeah, because one time was all I have from the other one, I just caught a brief glimpse as he was coming back up to go to Roger. But once again, Roy was in my vehicle, and he was behind Matthew.
Did you draw any conclusions about the size of the stature, the stance of that man?
He was smaller than Roy.
This one was much smaller than Rory?
Today it was shorter and like skinnier framed.
Thinner?
Yeah, like eyes, just not as big and
The shoulders weren't as wide?
yes, that's what you describe it, yes. And shorter.
And shorter.
Yes.
And you didn't recognize that stance or that shape, body shape.
No, sir.
Is that correct?
No, sir.
You also testified that at some point you heard that man say, I think we can
we'll kill him.
Sorry?
But you didn't know who's giving their statement.
I'll do that. She said, I'll do it. You said that there are only two strangers in your apartment. Is that right?
Yes. It's most likely identify yes too.
And the other person is the
Upstairs with me, yes.
You testified that you know that it was a recording that said, I think we can.
Exactly. Yes, correct.
So, were there any other voices that were there to say, I think we can?
We went at the bottom of the stairs. The bottom of the top floor stairs.
That's the second hand.
Yes.
That's what you do that place to unknown.
Yes.
So, you had typically times you see this person and you heard his voice.
Yes.
You testified that you were sure that the person who held the to your throat was the Lord.
Yes. So I'm testifying to you today.
Yes.
Okay, so it's been testified before because we have a computer story. Yes. 100% sure that it was the Lord.
Okay. And he won't answer.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
You could speak to this. Correct?
I saw this much of it.
You didn't see this about that's why I see this.
Yes, sir.
So, you heard his voice.
Yes.
And you recognized his voice.
Yes.
And you maybe one time said you had a deep voice.
It's kind of like a gravelly deep voice.
And
It's nothing that's deep, but it's just mentally.
you recognize that voice.
Yes.
And that's because you testified today that we have been at the treehouse 5 or 6 times in the past.
Yes.
At least, right?
Approximately. Approximately come across these 5 or 6 times.
Okay. And you've spoken to him on 5 or 6 times.
Yes.
So you recognize his voice.
Yes.
You also described his size.
Yes.
Okay? And I think at one point you described how he stood with his arms out.
He's big.
Right.
Big.
So is it fair to say that you not only identify his voice, but you identify his size and his stature?
I knew it wasn't for his coming at me.
Okay.
Even in the dark.
Okay. You also, in addition to this, is it fair to say that you recognize his body size, his shape, his stature,
Yes.
waist, good?
Yes. Do he moves? Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And you also recognize the clothes that he's wearing,
Yes.
including these shoe-like boots.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And that's because we saw him in the treehouse earlier that day.
Yes, sir.
And he was wearing the same clothes.
Yes, sir.
Now, when he was in the treehouse earlier that day, he was with the man.
Yes.
Should I mention what he had?
Yes.
Have you ever seen that man before?
No, sir.
That man was not Tyler.
No, it was not Tyrone. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
So,
Although I didn't know his name at that point. I mean, I didn't introduce him, but I didn't even remember his name.
you know it.
Yes. Yes.
And it's not Tyler.
No, sir.
Okay. Can you describe that man as a smaller man?
Yes.
Was he, I mean,
Well, it's kind of hard to say. He was standing down kind of roaring, but he was not as big as Detroit. But his hair, kind of, I really don't know his hair. Kind of heavy looking in a sense. No facial hair.
I'm sorry.
No facial hair.
Now, he wasn't wearing a mask at first, yes.
No, this is in the conclusion. Yes.
So you have to speak to this.
Yes.
Now, you didn't speak to him about that, did you?
The other guy?
Yeah.
No, sir.
You did not speak to him. So you didn't hear his voice
No, sir.
at that time. Right?
I can't say that I ever heard his voice.
Okay.
That other person.
Right.
It's very early.
Since that time,
Only person I ever identified with Rory.
For example, did you see,
Well,
go ahead.
no, I'm getting confused. I was going to say except Tyrone, but I'm not identifying Tyrone except for you not being there. So I think I just kind of threw you off. Sorry.
I asked you about identifying somebody. You said that you thought you were identifying.
Yes, Tyrone. Rory, yes. Detroit has your address.
Yourself is in that you said that you did also identify the second person as not being Tyrone.
As not being Tyrone, yes.
You said that on a number of occasions.
Yes.
That you're absolutely sure. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Do you have things with that that you're saying that you can be actually participating on the number of
I am.
Have you made that statement on other occasions?
I think so, yes. Because I'm
You probably have you ever said that statement before? Yes or no?
did I leave this much I
You were never able to make any correlation between anything you saw, like pictures in the newspaper, or a photo from CBS, or videos that you saw on YouTube with regard to the other man who was kicking. Did any of those things have any effect on your ability to identify who wasn't able
Can I ask a question? If you say object, I can still answer it? Okay. I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Sorry?
I'm not talking about a second thing that was in the article. You said definitely was a time.
Yes.
That, did you ever see through all this happen as times progressed? Did you ever see other things, either in the newspaper or YouTube or videos or whatever, anything, that, hold on, finish, that caused you to rethink identifying who that second candidate was?
I saw a picture on a video called Corruption 2.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
She's talking about something she's talking
I saw a picture on this video. It's called Corruption 2. There's a picture of a man in front of the treehouse walking from the hood. That looks like the man. Looks like the same hoodie from the man that I saw upstairs.
Okay. Anything else that you saw that helped you identify? Did you ever see an interview of Travis?
Yes.
Did that have any effect on you looking at that last time? Okay.
No. Because I never identified a second man.
And you heard the interview of Travis. Heard the interview with Travis.
Briefly.
Did that have any effect on your ability to identify the voice of the second man anymore with that night?
What was that speculation? To me, it sounds like it could have been, but I don't think that's kind of the answer to that.
Excuse me, Mr. Tucker, when you have a chance, can we stop this? I think we need to take a break right now. Thank you. I think it's time for the morning break. I don't like to interrupt the testimony of a witness in the middle, but it's almost 11, so I think it would be a good time to take a break until 11:15. Don't need to stay in the jury room. Usual rules apply. We'll see you back at 11:15. Okay. Take a break.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
We'll pick up where we left off. Okay, so we're back, other than the jurors, just for planning purposes. How long do we anticipate Mr. Tucker's presentation of this witness is going to last?
Let me take a look here. I know the entire video is 2 hours and 4 minutes, but we're skipping through some of it. So it's, on this section, I would probably say at most a half hour.
Okay, so then states.
Judge, I think total,
It goes from 55, 05 to
about 45 minutes, I think total.
119. We only got the two. Remember, we still got the cross and the redirect on this.
So, point I'm trying to figure is if this can be all finished before lunch, and I don't think so. It's 11:15 now. I don't know that it.
Judge, I think if we work them until 1 and they took a late lunch, we'll get it done. The thing is, I don't know if it makes sense to send them to lunch to bring them back for half an hour when the defendant doesn't have anything else lined up for today.
I know, but I still have to be able to, ascertain specifics about what happened and what to expect, and so I can advise the jurors. So I think I'd rather go for about an hour and lunch.
My calculations are 55 to
So,
Your Honor, I'd actually appreciate that too, because without the AC, I'm not used to the heat, and like I said, I was starting to feel a little sick there. I don't know about the jurors, but I was definitely starting to feel a little sick. I don't know. It's just,
well,
I'm not quite, being out in Portland, I'm not quite used to the heat anymore.
Well, thankfully it's not that stuffy, but I agree it's not ideal. But in any event, let's figure till we go to about 12:20, something like that. So we'll break for lunch and we'll go from there.
Obviously, Your Honor, I will push through whatever we need to today. So.
Yes, please. Thank you. Please be seated, everyone. Welcome back, members of the jury. I hope the break was pleasant enough. We're on the record, and we're going to continue with the publication of the deposition to perpetuate the testimony of Paula Belmont. Just for your planning purposes, I figure we're going to have about, for this morning's session, about another hour of this. So break for lunch around 12:15, 12:20, something like that. So just so you kind of can plan. So in the meantime, thank you for your continued attention. So Mr. Tucker, you can.
And just to be clear, everybody can hear, everybody can see.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Did you know it's like a car, Tyrone? Is that called Tyrone? How did you feel?
Pretty much hanging here. And I was given his name one time, but then I didn't see him enough after that. Okay, yes. Tyrone, so, yeah.
Prior to,
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
prior to November 17th, the day of the robbery, had you met Ty Tucker?
Yes.
Do you remember about how many times you met him or where you met him?
Probably about 5 or 6. I met him originally at Burger King.
Burger King. Okay, and how many times have you been in his presence prior to that day?
Prior to meeting him at Burger King?
No, prior to the day of the robbery.
I saw him once on the street, just like a hobo. I think I saw him again at Burger King. He had been at the treehouse one time.
So you saw him
downstairs. Yes, yeah.
And you talked to him?
Yes. Yes.
Was the first thing you heard that said, I think we killed him, was that tied to his voice? How sure?
I'm going to say 100% sure. 100% sure.
You're 100%
Tyrone has a different voice.
It was a different voice.
Yeah, he's got a rough voice too, like a gravelly, like a smoker's voice.
Now, what about the body type? You said you're seeing time on a number of occasions. What about the argument and you're able to learn about the man that was the subject person of the robbery and his body's shape and size, his demeanor compared to Thomas?
Tyrone seemed bigger than the person that I saw.
I'm sorry?
Tyrone seems bigger than the person that I saw.
So, is it fair
Not as big as Rory.
I'm sorry?
Not as big as Rory.
Okay.
But
is it fair to say that the person who was the second man in the robbery did not have the same body size, style, and shape as Ty Tucker?
Correct.
Following the robbery, did there come a time when you saw Ty Tucker shortly after the robbery?
Yes.
When was that?
I believe it was 3 or 4 days later.
It was when?
I believe it was 3 or 4 days later. Not exactly sure.
Okay, but it was shortly thereafter.
Yes, yes.
And that
Detroit had been arrested, but Tyrone hadn't.
it was what?
Detroit had been arrested, but Tyrone hadn't.
Okay, all right. And that was at the McDonald's.
Yeah, we had lunch at McDonald's.
How did that happen? Did you accidentally meet him there?
Accidentally, yeah.
Okay. So he was there?
He was sitting in the back, and I walked in, and
He was by himself?
yes.
Okay. And you walked in, and did you approach him, or did he approach you?
Neither one of us approached each other, really. We just kind of was looking for a table, and I kind of said, hey, how are you? And, yeah.
Did you see him at the table?
No, we went outside, because I was crying.
You were crying?
Yeah. Well, because he had said that he had been right.
I'm sorry? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You can answer.
He said that he had been down at the police station all night because of Rory.
Okay.
I was like, what? Because I had no idea they all stayed in the same place or whatever that deal was. And,
you were surprised to hear that?
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long were you with him at the time?
Maybe 15, 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes, and you were upset.
Oh yeah.
You were crying.
Oh, I probably got his shoulder full of snot. I was crying so hard.
You cried on his shoulder?
Yes, yes, I was.
So this was shortly after the robbery, while the incident was fresh.
Yes.
Observations were fresh, and
Yes.
it was fresh.
Yes.
At that time, when you saw Ty, did you ever suspect or think for a minute that he was the second guy?
No, sir.
And as time has progressed, have you become more or less sure that it was the Ty?
I'm for a little bit, I don't know if I'm allowed to see this, for a little bit that picture had me thinking that it was him, but I've always questioned that picture because I never believed it was Tyrone.
Okay, well, is it fair to say that you've had conversations with Matt Pitcher?
Yes,
Right.
plenty.
And Matt Pitcher told you that Tom was involved? You can answer.
Every time I talked to that picture and questioned Tyrone's involvement, and that picture said yes.
And when he told you Tom was involved, did you say, are you sure?
Yes, yes, plenty of times. I've said those words, are you sure, are you absolutely sure, because I just don't understand it, I don't see it.
And you said that because you didn't think he was involved?
Exactly.
But he had been arrested anyway, is that correct?
Yes.
And,
Well, not the first time that I spoke with my picture about.
right, okay.
Or maybe, wait, no, let me correct that. No, because at that point I didn't know that that was Tyrone. So yes, he would have been arrested. Sorry.
You had this conversation with Detective Pitcher on a number of occasions?
Yes, sir.
How many?
Probably at least. Anyway, between 5 and 10.
Anywhere between 5 and 10
Yes,
times?
yes.
You told him that you thought that they were wrong,
Yes.
including that Mr. Tucker was wrong.
Yes. And are you sure? And stuff like that. Yes.
And what was the response? What was the response? What was the I'm sorry. I was just asking a number of questions in that area. You didn't check the questions in this area.
So do I answer it? Okay.
Now, you were interviewed shortly after the incident by the police, is that correct? Shortly after the incident, you were asked?
That night?
That night?
And the next day.
Right.
Yes.
And then there was a time later when you participated in a deposition, May of 2019.
With Christine? Not Christine, I'm sorry, Colleen?
Yeah, Colleen was
Oh, yes, because Colleen doesn't, sorry, yes, he was yes. I wasn't spoken with Colleen, that's what I'm confused.
At that time, had you had these conversations that you described with Detective Pitcher prior to that deposition?
Yes. Yes, because that's when I was getting into being told it was Tyrone, it was Tyrone.
How do you feel about these men that robbed you and did this to you? Answer no.
Detroit was I don't want to be in the same room with him. I fought for that. I don't want to look at him. I don't want to smell him. I don't have much to say about what was the client's name? Travis, because I don't know anything about him.
Is it fair to say that you're very angry and want to see the individuals that did this be punished? Is that fair to say?
I can't seem angry, I don't have hatred, but I'm disgusted, and they deserve to be punished.
Well, my question is that, is it not reason to believe that if for a minute you thought Tom Tucker was involved, that you would lie and say that, oh no, he wasn't involved?
Absolutely not. He can rot in hell just about Detroit does. So,
If he was involved.
if he was involved, yeah.
But you know 100% that he
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to take some water real quick.
Now, indicated on across the summer and the second man about 2.5 times.
Cross means empire,
Correct.
Okay. Yes.
That was mostly on the fact punched, cut by Troy Wilson.
Not mostly, it was all about the same amount of time. It was all very briefly, up 3 times.
And that you saw that individual go downstairs.
Yes.
And that Troy went down second after that person.
Well, that individual came back up the stairs, went down once and he came back up. Right Willie was still upstairs. Then they both went down.
When did the attack on that take place?
After the first one went down, the other one went down the first time.
All right, so I just want to make sure I understand. So you're saying that the other person who's not Detroit
Yes.
went downstairs.
Yes. And
He came back up.
back up and went after Roger.
Okay.
And then he was on the platform. He was the last time I saw him. On the platform after Maggie had come up. I know it's confusing, but I almost think that other person might have been tucked in, like his back was coming up, and he came up behind him.
All right. Did you see the person who made the statement, I think we killed him?
No, did not see that. I just heard it.
So you don't know if it's the second male or it was even a third person?
No, I'm sorry, no, it was, I don't know anything about a third person.
Can you say with certainty that it's the second person who said, I think we killed him?
No.
So it could have been the second person that you've seen before,
Yes,
or it could have possibly been someone else.
correct.
Now, you indicated that you were familiar with Tyrone at the time of this incident.
Yes.
Mr. Tucker.
Yes,
And that you had met him between 5 to 6 times.
yes,
And that you were familiar with his voice.
yes.
And that you're 100% sure that this voice that you heard is not
Tyrone is correct.
Do you know if the person was manipulating their voice?
That didn't sound like it, no.
And you said that the body type seemed different than the person you saw. Why is that?
You're not making sense. The body taking a different one.
Why is Tyrone Tucker's body
Okay,
type
that's
different than the second person that you saw upstairs?
Tyrone is there.
How would you describe Tyrone Tucker's build?
Not as big as Roy's, but not as little as mine. Just broad, broad shouldered, but not as big as Roy. And he seems more stockier than the person that I can't identify.
What do you mean by stature?
Just more weight. You know, and more stockier, not fat, but more weight. I'll try to look at the person I can identify to make that clear.
And you had to guess as to the height and weight of Mr. Tucker. What would you guess?
I didn't really put it down. All I can tell you is smaller than Detroit. Not Mr. Tucker, but Warren, yes. We Facebook.
And did you know her prior to this incident back in November?
No.
So how was it that it came to be that you would communicate with her?
Just because I believe in Tyrone's innocence.
How frequently do you speak with her?
I don't know, sometimes it'll be 20 messages back and forth a day, and then other times it'll be on Facebook at all. I'm actually speaking with her. It's Facebook Messenger. Which I give you approval.
Have you discussed the case with her?
Yes. Well, texting. It's discussing. I don't know if I can keep elaborating that.
Have those discussions influenced your opinion as to what happened?
No, as a matter of fact, there was a time or two I asked a question and she told me she was afraid to answer and wouldn't answer because she didn't want anything. And I said, okay, because I don't want anything to mess anything up either.
Now, you had testified before that there were some things that you had seen after this occurred, something about corruption website.
Yes.
Is that on a website related to Mr. Tucker's job?
On the Free Franklin Tucker. I believe it came up under that. Not 100% sure. It comes up as corruption. I don't think it's Lauren. I know it's not Lauren. It came up under the lady, that cop lady that got fired. Do you know her name? The penny lady? Phillips? Yes. It comes up under where they have her on YouTube.
Under Free Franklin Tucker's
No,
YouTube?
under Penny Phelps. Video of that.
Have you been to the Free Franklin Tucker
Yes.
YouTube page?
Yes.
And have you watched the videos on it?
I watched some.
And have you been to the Free Franklin Tucker webpage?
Specifically.
Well, YouTube page versus the
Oh,
webpage.
yes. Yes.
And have you been to the Free Franklin Tucker Facebook page?
I'm going to say yes because to me that's all the same thing. The web page versus the Facebook page is the same thing, correct?
And you're saying that having watched those videos or having read anything on there has not influenced your decision at all?
No, it's only reiterating what I had always thought.
Now, you're saying that this video which you saw this person that was very close, that was similar to the person that attacked you, the second person, that was a video that had been posted pertaining to this particular case.
Repeat that.
So the video that you saw
Which video?
with the person that you said was might have been the second person, that was a video pertaining to this particular case.
Yes, it's not actually a video, it's a still picture. Yeah, it's right as the video comes along. It's a black and white picture right in the very beginning.
Okay. Okay, that concludes the defendant's presentation of this particular deposition to perpetuate. However, there are other portions, and I believe the state wants to publish some of those.
Yes, sir, we do. We just need a quick minute to set up, and we'll be able to.
Okay. I'd like me to excuse the
Yes,
jurors.
if you would, please, Judge, give us just 5 minutes.
All right.
Judge, two things. While Mr. Alvarez gets that moved up, I do believe the defendant's portion needs to be moved into evidence because that's going to be, needs to go with the court file, right? The video they just watched?
I thought we weren't moving them into evidence, Your Honor.
The jurors are gone. My, again, understanding of procedures, it doesn't get moved into evidence. It's just the testimony, and the actual video doesn't, in my understanding. So, what, you need a few minutes here?
Yes, sir, please.
All right. Let me know when they're ready.
Yes. Thank you, Judge. We are ready. We are booted up to where we want to start the tape.
Okay. Ms. Spring? Yes, sir.
Considering it's my witness, shouldn't I be able to have it play out just like I played mine?
Excuse me?
Play it in full as opposed to cutting up just to the redirect?
No.
Okay.
That's not how it works.
I thought you, I'm trying to be clear here, Your Honor. I thought this morning you said that, you know, if there's anything of evidentiary value, it doesn't matter which lawyer it is.
Right.
You know, you just play it from wherever it is.
Right.
Okay. Well.
And so that's what we're doing.
Okay, but again, that would skip about half of the tape.
And that's okay too. If I,
Just so the record is clear, we had this entire video in its entirety. The direct examination, there was 3 crosses. Mr. Tucker wanted to play the direct first, and then the cross of Mr.
Right.
Butler that pertains to him. We just wanted to all play. Now we're just going to play the other piece that was not played.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. That's my. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I misunderstood.
it's all right. I mean, but again, the deposition to perpetuate isn't like it's etched in stone in terms of everybody has to play everything. The advocates can decide what they're going to present on direct. They can decide what they're going to present on cross. There can be, so that's how the procedure works. So in any event, we're going to bring the jurors back.
All jurors present in the courtroom, Your Honor.
Please be seated, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for your patience, members of the jury. The We're continuing with the deposition to perpetuate of Ms. Belmont, and the state's going to present those portions that they'd like to for their basic cross-examination in terms of wanting to divide it up between trial testimony, direct and cross.
Good morning, Ms. Belmont.
Good morning, how are you? It's Belmont. Good, how are you?
Good morning, my name is Wrongfully. I represent Contractors Council. Just have a couple of questions for you. Do you know the Contractors Council?
No, not personally, no.
Okay, prior to the date since then, you never come out with a never associated with it?
No. So, no, sir.
Have you ever met Contractors Council?
I don't know how to answer that because he might have been the person that was there in Detroit, but I don't know for sure. Other than that, the only time I ever saw him was in the newspaper and, you know, here.
Okay, well, when you say that he might have been the second person, that's just you guessing.
No, this was in the daytime.
Okay.
Someone showed up with Detroit, but I can't say for sure. So I don't know how to answer that. I don't want to lie and say yes, I don't want to lie and say no.
Have you ever identified Contractors Council?
No, sir. No.
Have you ever seen Contractors Council with Matthew Bond?
No, sir.
Okay, have you ever seen him with Have you ever seen anything in prison?
No, sir.
Have you ever seen him with alcohol?
No, sir.
Have you ever seen Contractors Council hanging out with his auto?
No, sir.
And with Link, have you ever seen Contractors?
No, sir.
Have you ever seen Contractors Council hanging out with any of your friends?
No, sir.
Have you ever personally seen him at the tree house where you knew it was good?
No, sir.
Well, those are the questions.
Okay.
I'd like to next one. Is that fine? All right.
Today is Monday, September 28, 2020. The time is 11:22 a.m. We are going off the record. Today is Monday, September 28, 2020. The time is 11:22 a.m. We are back on the record.
Good morning. Good morning, Ms. Belmont. My name is Anya Gomez Malata. I represent Rory Wilson. I'd like to ask you a few questions this morning. Let me start with, you, at the very beginning of Ms. Boyce's direct examination, you said they came looking. Who do you mean they? Who are the they? How many people were they?
It was two people, and I already said I don't know who they were. It was whoever Detroit brought with him.
You one person you knew,
Yes, ma'am.
and the other person you did not.
Correct.
The other person, was he black or white?
White.
It was a white man. Approximately how old was this white man?
Maybe, I don't know, 30, 35, 40. I'm no good at guessing.
Well, would he have been a 60-ish man?
No. Somewhere between 30 and 50.
I'm sorry?
Somewhere between 30 and 50.
Okay. All right. And I would think that these two people, one of whom you know and one of whom you don't, came over to you. What's the first thing that happened?
They came up the stairs and asked, they came up the stairs and Detroit asked for drugs.
What kind of drugs?
Crack.
Did he specifically say crack?
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure.
Why would he be looking for drugs from you?
Ask him.
Well, I'm asking you, actually.
I don't know.
All speculation.
Well, Well, she knows. Why would she let somebody come in?
Same person that came and looking at for pot from Matthew. Who knows?
Well, let me ask you this way. Are you a drug dealer?
No, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
No, ma'am.
Were you ever a drug dealer?
No. I may have gotten some for some people, and that's a baby drug dealer.
So you did sell drugs?
I bought drugs for people if they were looking for some.
You never sold anybody any drugs?
I just said yes. I'm not going to take
How many times?
I don't know. 5, 10? I don't know.
When was the last time you sold drugs?
Who knows? Somewhere in the 2017.
When was the last time you sold drugs? In December of 2017?
I said sometime in 2017. She cannot keep making me repeat myself, and I got to talk loud because I'm going to lose my breath. Is all I'm going to say. So you need to do something with the noise.
What kind of drugs was that you sold in 2017?
Crack cocaine.
Okay. And did you do that during 2011 as well?
I don't recall.
What kind of work were you doing in 2011?
I don't recall. 9 years ago.
Did you ever work as a confidential informant?
I'm not answering that question. I plead the fifth.
Well, I think that's just one question you need to answer.
That has nothing to do with this case. I'm not answering that question.
Speak on Dr. Rollins.
Well, were you an informer in approximately 3,000 cases for the police?
I'm not answering that question. It's got nothing to do with this.
Well, do you?
Whether I was or wasn't, I'm not. It has nothing to do with this case, and I'm going to answer the question, and I'm not saying it again.
Your objection, Rollins.
Christine, you're objecting to the form, is that correct?
We're objecting to the question on the basis of Rollins.
Okay. Are you saying it was a let me ask you this. Were Gwen and Roseville, Washington present at the Free House on the day of the incident?
The date of the incident, yes.
Todd Quinn and Roseville, Washington both were present at the Free House, is that correct?
Yes.
What part of the Free House were they in while this action, this alleged robbery transpired?
I beg your pardon, it's not an alleged robbery, and I don't know because I was upstairs getting my neck cut.
But you know that they were in the Free House somewhere, right?
No, I couldn't do that for a fact.
Well, that's why I asked you, were Todd Quinn and Roseville, Washington present at the Free House at the time of the incident?
No, you asked me if they were there during that day. I don't know if they were there during the incident.
Okay. You say Detroit came up, you criticized against your dad and said, give it to me or I'll kill you.
That's right.
What was he referring to?
At one point he said, "Mommy, give me your purse. Give it to me, give me your purse." Like that.
Have you ever discussed this event with anybody with police officers?
Of course. I'm discussing it with you right now. What kind of question is that?
Did you ever tell Robert Mendes that you...
I don't know that person. And I don't know, he says he knows me, but I don't really know him.
I didn't get any of that.
Excuse me, I didn't get the question.
Okay. The question is, did you ever tell Robert Mendes that he explained himself and for robbery? Well, if she told him, she told him. She didn't.
Do I have to answer this? I'm going to listen to my breath to answer your questions.
Do you in fact think Anna Diaz set up the robbery?
Yeah, yes, I do.
With whom did she set it up? Who did she send in there?
can't answer that question. Possibly the people in the air got my neck.
Why would Anastasia claim that of a robbery? Do you know Anastasia claim?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever heard her off?
No, ma'am.
Has there ever been a time when you failed to deliver her money or correct the money?
Now, you know what? The board doesn't have any money, okay? I've got no issues with her owing her any money. Why don't you try it the other way around?
She had no beef with her whatsoever.
I can't stand a woman. How's that?
That tells it. How did you meet Mary Wilson anyway?
On the vehicle, I brought him to the treehouse.
Why did she bring her to the treehouse? What happened there?
Anything Clay is let me say this. Anything Clay is a whore, and she picks up men and brings them home to the treehouse. She brought a bunch of men.
Okay, for what purpose?
To have sex for money. I don't know, I wasn't in the mood.
Was there a prostitution ring being run out of the treehouse?
I don't know, that's what doesn't mind.
But she just said that Andy and Clay brought men to the treehouse to have sex. I'm just asking the logical question. Was there a prostitution ring being run out of the treehouse?
I believe there's a difference between a woman who picks up men and a prostitution ring.
I didn't hear that.
Why can't you hear? I'm not speaking with this woman. I don't know if there's a prostitution ring. Just because a woman picks someone out and brings them out, doesn't mean it's a prostitution ring. Do you hear that?
She brought a bunch of men. Did you say she brought a bunch of men?
Yes.
Was it for the purpose of having sex with her or with other people?
Objection, false for speculation. Objection, Lopez.
Why can't you stand in and see her play?
Objection, Lopez.
It's relevant because she's claimed that Anastasia Clay said it was robbery and that she hates her. So I want to know why she hates her.
I don't like Anastasia Clay. I don't like you. I'm going to answer that question. How's that?
If you don't want to be lying on the stand,
I'm not lying about anything. I'm getting a little agitated because I'm losing my breath. I don't want to answer question after question after question.
Do you need a break?
I need to not answer some questions over and over again. Okay, my voice got it after this.
are you afraid to answer questions that might incriminate you?
Lady, you know what? I'm tired of wasting my breath with you. Okay? It's very hard for me to breathe. You're asking stupid questions. It's got nothing to do with me lying. It's got you making me lose my breath. Is that a good enough answer for you?
Today's been a question break.
I'm not doing this.
Are we taking a break?
We are.
I'm not doing this. Because I'm on the ambulance and the right to the hospital. I'm not doing this.
Today's Monday, September 20, 2020. The time is
I'm sorry, but I'm not doing this.
11:23 a.m. from the river. Today's Monday, September 28, 2020. The time is 11:49 a.m. We are before the record.
Shall I continue with my examination?
Yes.
Okay. Now, who lived on the top floor of the treehouse?
I did.
And anybody else?
No.
Not Tucker, not Johnson?
No.
Nobody else?
Nobody else lived in the top floor of the treehouse. No.
What about the other floor? Did either Mr. Tucker or Mr. Johnson live there? Any on the other floor?
No.
Okay. Isn't it true that what you have against Mr. Wilson is that you wanted to be selling drugs there, and he didn't want you selling drugs around his pregnant girlfriend?
No, ma'am.
You didn't want to sell drugs, or his girlfriend wasn't pregnant?
Ma'am, I don't even know his girlfriend.
weren't selling drugs at any time during 2017, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
You were. And isn't it true that Bill's Monticelli, where he lived with his girlfriend, was pregnant?
Pardon me?
Isn't it true that Rory Wilson does not want you selling your drugs at the place where he also lived with his pregnant girlfriend?
No. I got no clue.
He never told you to stop selling drugs or get out?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Were you still a police snitch in 2017?
No, ma'am.
The question is, were you still a police snitch in 2017?
Objection, characterization. Argumentative.
I'm not hearing an answer.
Answer if you say objection.
If you make an objection, you still need to answer.
Okay, I'm going to say the fifth.
Was that because the answer was intent to
It's
incriminate?
because I'm pleading the fifth.
Now that's what the fifth is, when you refuse to answer on the grounds that the response may incriminate.
Objection, argumentative. Not a question.
So you, okay. The backpack, let's talk about the backpack. You said there was a backpack involved at the time of this incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Who had the backpack?
I did. It was mine.
You did, it was your backpack. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who took it from you?
The other person.
Not Rory.
No, ma'am.
Who's the white guy?
I can't say it was a white guy.
Oh, you still
I don't believe that was a black guy because he was wearing a white. And as far as it was a white guy, I don't know where he took it. I know it was not Rory Wilson.
So you think there are regulations as to what kind of clothing black people may wear?
Objection, argumentative.
It's a question. Are there, do you know any regulations stating that?
Maybe the person was dressed in all black. I think it's gone sad. Perhaps that was in shock. The person was all black.
You didn't see any part of his skin.
No, ma'am.
Do you know whether he was a good male?
No, ma'am.
Could have been a woman.
Could have been. Could have been.
Okay, one moment, please. Were you high at the time of this
Yes,
incident?
ma'am.
I didn't hear the answer.
You heard my answer.
Were you high at the time of the incident?
No.
You were not high.
Ask the answer. Objection.
Have you taken any drugs that day at all?
No, ma'am.
With all your health issues, and I went back and you took a lot of medication for your health issues, don't you?
Yes, ma'am. We've been through this already.
Have you been told not to do any illegal drugs?
I don't do any illegal drugs.
Okay.
I don't do any illegal drugs.
Is that because you can't because of all the medication?
And because I don't know if I'm clean.
Jim, I didn't hear the answer.
I will do any drugs because of my choice. How come she
Not because I told you you better not do because it interacts badly with all the actual medication.
Ms. Gomez-Milano, she had originally stated that she does not do any drugs because she is clean.
Thank you, ma'am. One moment, please. Were there any drugs in your backpack when the other guy took it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, at what point did Mr. Bonnet enter the scene?
After I was screaming for help.
Okay. And what did you actually see him do?
Coming up the stairs.
Okay. And did he get to the landing?
He got to the landing.
And what happened when you reached the landing?
Then he was attacked.
By who?
Roy Wilson and the other person.
Both of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you actually see who stabbed Mr. Vaughn?
No.
One moment, please. Thank you. I have no further questions.
No, I can't say for sure.
Did Mr. O'Quinn ever make it up to the top of the tree house after the attack?
No.
Did Roosevelt Washington?
No.
So you mentioned that you seen him go earlier in the day, but after the attack, you did not see him again.
I believe I might have saw Todd outside when I was coming out here, but I'm not really sure because it's been so long and it was so confusing. But I know Todd did not make it to the top of the stairs. I did not see him whatsoever.
All right, so you're testifying that you may have seen Todd after the attack, you were downstairs and outside of the property.
Yes.
But there's no point during this or immediately after you did not see O'Quinn or Roosevelt Washington. It's not a tree house.
No.
Now, there's discussion of this tree house. If you know where Roy Wilson lived at this time,
He didn't live in the tree house.
do you know where he did live?
In a warehouse.
And do you know where that warehouse was specifically located?
Not specifically, no.
Do you know who had a girlfriend?
No. Oh, no, I might have. I might have heard the news she had a baby.
Do you ever had any interactions with her?
No.
Do you know her name?
Only from reading the
So now you've come up with
now I know her name, yes.
you never knew her name.
No, ma'am.
One second. Now, you indicated that you weren't even sure if other individuals were Wilson was a male or female because you never saw one of their correct?
That's correct, yes.
Now, do you ever hear that second person speak?
Oh, then I'm lying. Yes, I did hear the second person speak.
And
But
what
that was a male's voice, so yes, I can add me a it was a male's voice. Sorry.
and when did you hear that male speak?
I think the children,
And at what point was that?
after I heard the tussle,
Now, did you see the person who said that voice at that time?
no,
Do you recognize the voice?
no, not at all.
I know the voice.
Sorry.
Today's Monday, September 28, 2020. The time is 12 p.m. We are going off the record.
Is this a good breaking?
Judge, actually, the state is that we've completed the presentation of what we wanted to show from the tape.
So let's approach the bench then. moment or two out of your presence, so shouldn't take long, but I would ask you to go on the jury room, please. Okay, we can go back and resume our positions. All right, the jurors are gone, so that completes the deposition. Perpetuate for Ms. Belmont. So, Mr. Tucker, do you have other witnesses, evidence lined up for the rest of the day?
But I do need to defer to the court for some advice on at least a couple of witnesses. I do have Todd O'Quinn lined up on as a witness, but as far as scheduling, he is either coming from prison, or if Your Honor would like to try another Zoom, we can try that. I don't know whether or not you would want to do that. Prison. If he's coming from prison, I'm not exactly sure where the prison is located, so I can't tell you how long it would take him to get here. The other one is Seth LeVay. Seth LeVay we've already discussed. He would rather not come down here, all the way down here for 10 minutes worth of testimony, but if he needs to, then we'll have to bring him down here. I was looking, I don't know, Your Honor. His whole purpose of coming here is to identify a few documents.
Okay, well, in terms of scheduling, on Friday afternoon, when I asked, you indicated that Mr. LeVay was going to be presented today. So what happened with that?
That was one of my cancellations, Your Honor, because he hadn't actually gotten the subpoena, is what he told me, and I was like, well, we need you to come down. He said he can't come down. I was like, okay. And because it's such a small chunk of time, and I was going to have to reschedule him anyway, I figured I'd defer to Your Honor as to whether or not we need to bring him down at all.
And then who was the other one? Tom? Was
Todd
it?
O'Quinn.
No, not Todd O'Quinn. Walker.
Walker's actually scheduled for tomorrow, Your Honor, at 9 o'clock. I rescheduled him for tomorrow.
So,
but Your Honor, if I may,
yes, sir.
Part of my scheduling problem is also because we went over a little bit with the state's case, and my subpoenas started to run out, so I actually had to reissue the subpoenas, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's a little bit more of a process for me, that's all.
The long and the short of it is, for the rest of the day, you don't have anything
No, Your Honor. I had planned on it, but no, I don't.
State want to...
I think the court, we don't need to leave the jury waiting. I guess we might as well send them home, but there are some other things I think that we need the court to get involved in.
Okay, so I guess explain to the jurors there's no other evidence available or nothing else for their presentation or presenting to them today, so I would tell them to come, 9:15 tomorrow?
Actually, actually 9:15, yeah, we'll have Tom Walker at 9. Does that work?
Okay, so then wait, one more thing. I think we have to return this afternoon, we being the state and the defense and the judge, because there's some issues that we apparently need to address. So what, like 1:45?
That sounds fine.
Okay, let's bring him in.
jurors present in the courtroom, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please be seated, members of the jury. And welcome back to the courtroom. Thank you for your attendance here today, your attention, your patience, your flexibility. We appreciate it very much. There's no more evidence that's going to be presented to you today. Sorry, the fact of the matter is logistic concerns once again become a factor. And I won't go into all the details, but I may sound like a broken record. I'm sorry, but the big picture is we remain on schedule. Yes, you know, certainly the last thing I want to do is waste your time, but I also do want to be sure we accommodate all the logistical concerns. We're on schedule, the big picture, so you can do whatever you would otherwise be doing today for the rest of the day, 9:15 tomorrow, and abide by the court's cautionary instructions, and have a good rest of the day. All right, so we'll come back at 1:45 and we'll address this issue as to Mr. LeVay, Mr. O'Quinn, and goodness knows what else, but we'll see you after lunch at 1:45.
Thank you.
All rise.
Please be seated. All right, so we're here, State versus Tucker. Everybody's here. I just want to say something, and then we'll hear from everybody. I'm very concerned about the fact that we don't have any more defense witnesses, despite the representations that we would. I'm not doing half days. I'm not doing third days. You either have your case and your evidence together, sir, or we're going to move on with this trial to the next phase, because it's completely unacceptable the fact that Friday we've got only the problematic Zoom on Hall at Belmont. Today we have nobody else.
Your Honor.
It's not going to happen that way anymore.
Your Honor, can I please speak for a second?
Yes, sir. You did not offer one explanation
I'm
of
trying
legitimate as to why your supposed witnesses weren't
I
here.
will literally, if you'll give me just a second, I can go ahead and
Yes,
explain.
sir.
Okay. First off, we were given 4 weeks when I had attorneys, Your Honor.
That was an outer limit. It wasn't not so we could take
And I'm
lengthy
not planning on
breaks.
it. And I'm not planning on it. I just cut my witness list down so that we could make sure that it's going to be timely, Your Honor. But I have I have no way of knowing how fast transport's going to bring Todd O'Quinn from the prison.
I can tell you they're not going to be bringing him any time during the course of this trial, unless you've got a order to transport ahead of time, which I haven't been presented with one.
Well, and the thing is, okay, well, that's Your Honor. That's why I also wanted to defer to the court's opinion on this, because okay, if I can get them via Zoom, that negates that. But I mean, Zoom was problematic, I admit, right? So I didn't think Your Honor would want to go for another Zoom hearing. But at the same time, he is an important witness in this case.
Well, sir, whatever provisions you've made, that's fine. And if you haven't made proper provisions ahead of time, well, then it's on you. So in any event,
Your Honor,
I really not interested in hearing more excuses right now, sir.
I had one other thing.
I'm not interested in hearing it. I'm telling you that 2 days in a row we've had trial time, we've had representations, you had people here, and you didn't. So, Mr. Mansfield, what did the state want to bring up? Because we'll
Judge, the defendant has advised us that he plans on calling Seth LeVay. Seth LeVay was supposed to be here today. He's not here. He has proffered to us that his purpose in calling Seth LeVay is to authenticate the motion to suppress that the defendant believes will then be admissible in front of this jury. I submit to this court that It doesn't work that way. That written motion is hearsay. Even if Seth LeVay takes a stand and says, yes, I wrote this at the request of my client, it is hearsay. Anything contained with it is hearsay and makes it inadmissible. There is no sworn statements of Travis Johnson in that motion. Not to mention, anything that Seth LeVay gathered from his client is privileged communication. And again, Seth LeVay is not at liberty to discuss or to publish that. So I believe that us waiting around for tomorrow for Seth LeVay to come down here is going to be a waste of time, because we are moving to strike him as a witness, because I believe that anything he'll testify to is not going to be admissible.
613, Your Honor.
Not to mention, he's no longer under subpoena. So that's the first problem. The second problem is he's mentioned this Todd O'Quinn. Your Honor's already touched on it. There's been no transport order. There's been nothing, no provisions made. Todd O'Quinn is not going to be here. The next witness, he says Tom Walker, the investigator that did the IA investigation. I've already proffered to the court that I believe that most of that's going to be inadmissible, because the IA investigator who investigated these allegations of impropriety in this investigation occurred years after this crime. Again, what I believe he's going to testify to is going to be inadmissible in this trial. His subpoena ended last Friday, so he's no longer under subpoena either. So my question to the court is, are we closing tomorrow because I need to be prepared, or is there something that's going to be presented that will be admissible? That's where we're at. The defendant indicated to us on the break that after Seth LeVay in the morning, he's got Chad Sabilla coming in the afternoon. So let's say that for whatever reason, Seth LeVay does come down here and we start up at 9 o'clock. And by 9:15, we're done with Seth LeVay. And then what are we going to do? Wait 6 hours for Chad Sabilla to come in? These are the delays that Your Honor has come out and touched upon them, but these are the delays that the state wanted to talk to the court about. We believe this defendant is holding these proceedings hostage. This is becoming ridiculous. The defendant had plenty of time over the weekend to post and open up a new YouTube channel and post all about it.
Who did that? I want evidence of that.
So here we are today, and he's not prepared with his witnesses. Todd O'Quinn is at Martin Correctional Facility. He's not going to be here.
5 hours. That's what it is. Your Honor, I want some evidence of what he just alleged against me.
It's just argument. It doesn't, frankly, affect me. What does affect me in terms of this case is what I consider a motion in limine regarding Seth LeVay, what I consider a motion in limine regarding Tom Walker. So we can get to that.
Your Honor.
But in any event, so what now? What did you want to say, sir?
Well, Your Honor, to be quite frank, I'm going to go ahead and file a motion to disqualify tonight. So we're going to have to consider that.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Okay.
You can.
That pretty much ends the conversation right here, doesn't it?
No, sir, not at all.
I mean, because look, I am doing my best to make sure my witnesses are here.
Sir.
Right, but I'll tell you what, it's not exactly easy when first off, I have to go through the clerk, which they don't have to do. But not only that, we did go over and we had overlap, Your Honor. That is the way it is. Now, I just confirmed my witnesses, right? Now, they want to say that Tom Walker, because they're thinking I'm going to go to, see, this is the thing. They're thinking I'm going to go, to that. But no, there's been evidence that has been tampered with, and we need to figure out which ones. Tom Walker has that knowledge, I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, I don't know which videos have been tampered with. I don't know which ones, haven't been. I don't have that list. Tom Walker does. I know a lot of them have been. I mean, Lord knows I can't use my own interview video. It's been chopped into, 60 pieces, 70 pieces?
Why isn't Tom Walker here today, as you said he would be on Friday?
Because, Your Honor, like I said, like he just said, my subpoena had run out. And like I said, I had to reissue my subpoenas. And yes, I went ahead and clarified it with everybody just now, again, to make sure that, no, there is no further delays. Now, as far as Todd O'Quinn got in touch with me this weekend, right? Now, okay, I had trouble figuring out which facility he was in at first because they moved him. That's a problem. Then the other problem is they put him with Rory Wilson. How'd that happen?
Who knows? And it's irrelevant to what we're doing here.
Well, it's relevant if all of a sudden I don't have a witness, you know?
The record's clear. I checked Odyssey 5 minutes before Your Honor to the bench. There have been no further subpoenas issued by the
No, they're sitting right here because I just decided. I was like, okay, which ones am I going to narrow down? And I did want to talk to the court, but apparently the court doesn't want to talk to me, which is why I need to make a motion to disqualify.
Sir, I believe we're having a hearing right now. I'm just expressing my concern about your ineptitude, your
Honor.
Sir, again, you're speaking over me.
Okay.
Your inordinate, inappropriate delay of the proceedings. If this wasn't a lawyer, it would not be tolerated. I've bent over backwards to accommodate you, but we've reached the limit. I'm not going to be sending this jury home for half days anymore. You're either ready to go or we move on to the next stage of the proceedings.
I'll have my motion ready for you tomorrow.
Sir, that is not relevant to what we're doing now or what I expect to happen.
I know what the law says.
Well, okay, that's fine, sir. So do I. But like I said, that doesn't affect what we're addressing now. Mm-hmm. And as far as Seth LeVay is concerned, what is it that you expect him to testify to? Because if it's nothing more than saying, yeah, that's the motion to suppress that I filed.
Well, and he's also willing to say that, yes, his client did say that his confessions were false. It literally says it right on the outside of the document, Your Honor, and it literally says inside the document, those are all previous inconsistencies. That's 613 all day.
Any more argument from the state? Because if that's what you're calling him for, I'm granting the motion. None of that is admissible. None of that is. Sir, I'm not going to start teaching you a law class now.
I mean,
that is a motion. Mr. LeVay cannot invade the attorney-client privilege.
Okay.
What he alleges in the motion is not admissible. So the fact that you don't have him here is yet another problem, which you said you would. But regardless, I'm granting the state's motion.
Your Honor,
to strike.
you're saying I can't take a previously inconsistent statement, put it in front of Mr. Johnson and say, did you say this?
I am saying Mr. Johnson's attorney's unsworn motion doesn't consist of a previous inconsistent statement. That's what I'm saying. Okay. And nor can you ask Mr. LeVay what his client told him. Those are all clearly inadmissible. So the motion to strike LeVay is granted. In any event,
Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I will go ahead and I have my list for tomorrow. I have my list for the next day. But again, if I file that motion, there is going to be no tomorrow.
Sir, you can file whatever motion you want, but your understanding of that particular motion, is what it is. I will make an appropriate ruling, and we'll go from there. But in any event,
I guess we'll see.
So in any event, what else did the state? I don't expect closings tomorrow. But like I said, what I do expect is if Mr. Tucker does not have witnesses under subpoena, witness evidence ready to go, or witnesses standing by, I'm not sending this jury home anymore. We're going to proceed because that is not the way a trial is conducted. I've been more than indulgent in terms of giving him every opportunity. And so whatever you want to present or intend to present, I'd have it lined up, sir. So
that's fine, Your Honor. It's like I said, but I guess we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Okay. Anything else? Anything else?
Nothing else from the state, Judge.
All right. So we'll be here at 9 o'clock and we'll go from there. Mm-hmm.